Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Mike Tomlin makes surprising admission about Matt Canada firing. The Pittsburgh Steelers have made the move that most people were waiting for. After an abysmal 10 games of offense, the Steelers have fired offensive coordinator Matt Canada. Even though you never want to see someone lose their job, this move was long overdue. Canada did a poor job as Steelers OC, and now the team hopes to see improvements with a new play caller. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin wanted to make sure everyone knew this was his decision. According to Andrew Siciliano, Tomlin did not consult with GM Oman Khan or ownership before making this decision. He said, "It was mine and mine alone." These types of moves are something that do not happen in Pittsburgh. If they plan to fire a coach, it almost always comes once the season has concluded. But, not this year. This is the first time since 1941 that the Steelers fired a coach during the season. Tomlin knows he has a team that is capable of making the playoffs, possibly even winning the division. But, their offense has been putrid and cost them all season long. The Steelers are averaging 8.25 points per game in their losses. The most points they have scored in a game is 26 in Week 2, and that was with 2 defensive touchdowns. Quarterback Kenny Pickett has stayed the same if not gotten worse in his third NFL season. Pickett simply does not provide enough big plays for their offense. According to Marcus Mosher, they have 21 explosive pass plays, 20-plus yards, this year, which is the third worst in the NFL. Canada did not put his players in a position to succeed. With a new play caller, the only place to go is up with this Steelers offense. Who in their right mind is going to want this job? Analyst doesn't see anyone wanting to coach Kenny Pickett. Though Eddie Faulkner and Mike Sullivan will finish out the Pittsburgh Steelers' 2023 season as offensive coordinators, with Faulkner officially holding the title while Sullivan will be the primary play caller, the job will be up for grabs for 2024. If the Steelers' offense impresses over the next 7 games, it's possible Faulkner and/or Sullivan retain their roles. But Pittsburgh figures to cast a wide net and interview external candidates too, even doing so in 2021 when it was obvious Canada was going to be promoted. Appearing on the latest episode of his podcast, analyst and former NFL scout John Middlecoff has one question. Who is going to want it? Who in their right mind is going to want this job? Middlecoff asked. I have to coach Kenny Pickett? He's not any good. Pickett has been a large part of the Steelers' struggles this season. The numbers speak for themselves. 6 touchdown passes in 10 starts. Held under 175 yards passing in each of his last 4 games. A completion percentage near the bottom of the league. A touchdown percentage that's only better than Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones, and Ryan Tannehill. Not the company you want to keep. In Middlecoff's mind, Pickett isn't a franchise quarterback. He says he had one good season in college and that was enough to propel him into a first-round franchise quarterback, crediting W.R. Jordan Addison as the key for Pickett's breakout 2021 campaign. When you go all in and all your chips are in the middle of the table on this player as they are when you draft him at 20 and Mitch Trubisky is your backup, which you've extended twice, you're just fucked. At least he's not being unclear about things. Middlecoff didn't put the blame at Mike Tomlin's feet. Instead, he pinned drafting Pickett on the GM and owner Art Rooney too. Of course, current GM Omar Khan wasn't the one who drafted Pickett. Instead, it was Kevin Colbert's final first-round pick. And Rooney's push for Pickett is unclear, though he was part of the Big Three to decide on the pick. Pittsburgh always frames their decisions as Steelers picks between head coach, general manager, and owner. While 2024 will be a make-or-break year for Pickett, there are reasons to be excited about the Steelers' job. There's talent on offense with WR's Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, a talented duo on the outside. Young tight ends in Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. A running back tandem of Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, the latter breaking out in a big way. And an offensive line that's serviceable and could keep improving. There's also the upside of having full control over the offense. Tomlin is one of just a handful of defensive-minded coaches in football, meaning the offensive coordinator has full reins over how his side of the ball works. All for a Steelers team that's competitive and in the playoff mix. Time will tell who the outside candidates are that the team interviews. And, of course, who they hire. Pittsburgh hasn't had a name as OC since Todd Haley. Whoever the pick is, big name, small name, internal or external, they have to get it right. Steelers should sign Colts star Shaq Leonard. The Pittsburgh Steelers are turning over every stone they can find to try and replace their injured veterans at inside linebacker. The team recently signed 2 former starters, but they could land a star out of Indianapolis who was just sent to waivers. The Colts decided former second-round pick Shaq Leonard would be headed to the open market after 5.5 seasons in Indy. The star inside linebacker signed a 5-year, $98.5 million deal in 2021 but watched his playing time diminish in 2023 prior to his departure. Now, Leonard is on the waiver wire, and once he clears it, he'll be a free agent with plenty of attention from those who need linebacker help. That list includes the Steelers. While Michael Walker and Blake Martinez are better than nothing, they aren't the ideal candidates to replace Quan Alexander and Cole Holcomb. Walker is assumably the starter alongside Landon Roberts moving forward, but Martinez hasn't been on an active roster for more than 4 games a season since 2020. Meanwhile, Mark Robinson played 0 defensive snaps last week after Walker was signed off the practice. And until he becomes a part of the defense, he can't be viewed as an option to help replace Alexander and Holcomb. Leonard would bring 3 Pro Bowls and 3 All-Pro selections to Pittsburgh to try and replace their injured inside linebacker room. While his play has taken a step backward following 2 back surgeries last season, he's a name that makes a lot of sense for any team that needs off-ball help. Pittsburgh will need to wait until he clears waivers before trying to land a deal, but once he does, they should be on the phone trying to strike a contract to add another starter to the mix. And for anyone doubting the Steelers' ability to land star players right now, don't rule them out that quickly. Mike Tomlin remains the head coach most players want to play for, and Pittsburgh is still in the playoff hunt. The signing makes plenty of sense for both sides, not just the teams. And you fan, what do you think of the Darius Leonard situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.